seated.
State your name, please.
Timothy S. Klein.
And are you the husband of Chrissy Klein?
Yes.
The co-plaintiff in this lawsuit?
Yes.
You're bringing your claim for lawsuit of the love and affection, companionship, and social of your wife because of her injury?
Yes.
You were present when she slipped and fell on the premises of Stratton Hill on August 16th, 2009.
Yes.
You've been shopping with her.
Correct.
Can you tell us what that you took in the store as quickly as possible without...
So the door was closing.
Yes. How did that transpire?
We've been shopping in the store for roughly half an hour or so, and we came up to the aisle. It was our last night. We were going to. I think we got something from there. We got milk, and then we headed into the second to last aisle.
When you got your milk, did you get it out of the dairy department?
Correct.
That was in the back of the store, the north end of the store.
Yes.
And where is that department in relation to the aisle of that pump that she slipped and fell in?
It's perpendicular to it.
Talking how far where the dairy department ends the aisles again.
Yeah.
No other departments.
Yeah.
When you got to the aisle that you were coming down to go to the front of the store, you were about ready to check out.
Correct.
And at the time, did you notice anybody in that aisle or at the beginning of the aisle? You call that the what end?
And caps.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a pizza vendor at the end there, and there was also an employee that was at the pizza stand.
And what was the pizza vendor selling or giving away?
Pizza, slices?
And you saw the family?
Yes.
And what about the employee? Was there an employee there?
Yes.
And what did he look like?
He was a young man, slight build, and he had a name tag and a smack on.
Remember what the name on the tag was?
Paul.
Paul. And what was he doing?
He ate his pizza.
So at that point, you and your wife and your two children started to get towards the front of the store.
Yes.
And were you to the left of her?
Yes.
Who was pushing the car? You were.
I was pushing the cart with Cole in it, and then our daughter was pushing the customer transit.
So you were going toward the front of the store, toward the right side of the aisle, next to the frozen food cases on that side?
Correct.
Ultimately, as you later found out, I presume, it falls from the other side.
Correct.
So you passed that point.
Correct.
Pushing you back down the road.
Yes.
You were between her and where she ultimately fell, the time that you were going down that aisle. Correct. And then did there come a time when you got down toward the end of that aisle and she forgot something?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened after that?
She went to go back and get eggs, and she was walking back, and we were still in the aisle, heading towards the end of the aisle, and I heard noise, and I looked. When I looked, she had fallen out.
Now, she was going to get eggs, which was then up away from that aisle. You had to go through that to the dairy section, right?
Correct.
But you never got that far. You got at some point, as the exhibit shows, wherever those food items were, and you learned later after you turned around, after you heard a noise, she fell. Was she on the floor?
Yes.
How was she situated on the floor?
She was on her rear. Put her leg out.
Which one?
The left. And she kind of fell backwards onto the bus.
All right. And did you then turn around and you and the kids in the shopping cart go to her area?
Yes.
And what did she tell you, or what did you say to her?
I went down there and asked her if she was okay, and she obviously slipped, and she was hurt. And we wanted to know what happened why she had fallen, and we could see when she was at the water.
There was water under her?
Yes.
Was she in distress?
Yes.
Was she in pain?
Yes.
Was she crying?
Yes.
And she told you that she had fallen on something.
Yes.
At that point, did she know what it was?
No. Not until we looked at it and saw it was water.
And was it clear water?
Yes.
It had any smell? Or
No.
maybe it was have any idea where it came from?
No.
It was definitely on the floor of the store.
Correct.
She felt it.
Correct.
When you came up to where she was, were you able to see any water on the floor along the right side of that aisle?
When I came up to her, I knelt down, and when we saw that there was water there, I could look and see that there was water.
When you were coming up to where she was, from the other end of the store?
Oh, no, there couldn't be seen.
No, I'm just putting you there for a moment.
Yes.
When you were at the other end of the store, on the right side,
Mm-hmm.
you turned around and come up the center of the aisle, the right side of the aisle.
Yes.
Were you able to see any water on the floor at that time?
As I was walking up, it couldn't be seen. It was camouflage.
You were walking the way you would normally walk?
Correct.
You looked up for your own safety when you walked?
Yes.
You couldn't see any water?
It was camouflage, yes.
Camouflage in what way? By what?
It was transparent. The floor was shiny, and there were reflections on the floor that were blended in.
This is Defendant's Exhibit C6.
Can we put it up on the Elmo too so the jury can see it better?
Pretty much.
She got it?
You can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
And you got a copy. So we pretty well have the document photograph. All right, now, of course, this photograph was taken after the fall. Is that correct?
Yes.
But it's the same floor.
Yes.
It appeared the same way. Did it appear the same way that it appeared to you when you were walking toward her after she fell?
Yes.
Somebody taken from
Minus the cones.
the other end. Minus the cone, yes.
Yes.
And were you also surprised to see that there was water there when you got there?
Yes.
And what, if anything, further did you say to her, or she say to you at that point?
Well, we wanted to make sure that the kids didn't get into the water, so we told them to be careful, stay away. And then basically you saw the entire way down. You could see it when I was kneeling down. When I was kneeling down, I could see.
You got lower, you can see.
When I got lower, I could see it all the way down. for all the way into Plaza.
Now, at that point, did the young man that was eating pizza, did he come over to her and help you?
No,
Did he in any way ask if she needed assistance?
no,
What was he doing?
he's staying there.
Through the pizza tray?
Yes,
You're now still eating pizza?
I'm not sure if he was there.
Well, you saw him eating pizza before?
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And at that point, did anybody come to help?
No,
So what did you do?
I went to the front of the store to get assistance.
Now, as you were going to the front of the store, you left the children in shopping carts with your wife.
Correct, yes.
At that point, she was still on the floor.
Yes,
You didn't have a chair at that point.
correct.
Now, as you were going toward the front of the store, were you also trying to see the water?
Yes.
Why did you not see it coming up to the floor? Or did you see it after you turned around and back down the floor?
We knew there was water because she had slipped. We were aware that there was something there that made her slip, so we wanted to investigate and see where it was, where it went, and that's why I got a keen eye after she had fallen.
Know what you
Yes,
If you didn't know what you were looking for, you wouldn't have been able to see it. Is that what you're saying?
correct.
Something like black ice?
Yeah, and step on black ice, you don't know what's there until you hit it.
Who did you contact from the store?
I think it was the first cashier I came to.
What did you tell her?
I told her that my wife had fallen and the particular aisle that we were at.
Did you get on the phone or the loudspeaker?
At that point, I don't know if there was a loudspeaker. I don't know how they were contacted, but I walked back to my wife.
When you walked back toward your wife, at that point you knew there was water on the floor. So you were able to see it at that point?
Correct.
Again, why then not before?
Because we knew it was there because we knew she slipped and knew it had to be something that she slipped on. And I saw it when I was down at the knee and I was looking for it. I was aware.
Couldn't see it before, but you knew it was there the second time.
Correct.
And was there water all along that aisle?
Correct.
Where you fell?
Yes, the east side of the aisle.
Facing south there, going from the store, right? So this would be the east side of the aisle in front of those refrigerator cases. And you went up that way, you were pointing out the water to her when she was sitting in the water,
Yeah.
and on the way back, correct?
Yes.
What happened after you got back to her and reported?
Elena came out, and I think she came out with the chair. I'm not sure. I think she came out and then went down the chair or something.
Were you present when she made any comment about the water?
Yeah, when she came out to us, she stopped and said, "Oh my gosh, you can see this down the entire aisle."
Did she walk down the aisle to see the water?
I think so.
And what else did she say?
When we were leaving, after they took our statements and everything, she told us we were going to get checked out and we should have probably insured the bills.
Did the store ever do that?
No.
When you went to help your wife, it was before she had a child, correct? Was she sitting in water?
Yes.
Was her dress wet or damp?
Yes.
How did you determine that?
When I helped her up and see it in the back of the glass.
And where primarily was it in what spot?
Like we've done like her thigh area, her right thigh.
And was it, you notice any part of her leg wet or not?
No.
And her came a time when somebody brought a chair and an ice pack, correct?
Correct.
And then they proceeded to, were you present when they proceeded to take the statement from them?
Yes.
All right. At some point when they were done with her, you were released to go home.
Right. Yes.
Went out through the checkout counter right to do.
Yes.
Take 3 groceries.
Correct.
Went home
We stopped and picked up first thing and went home.
with the family.
Yes.
And then went home.
Yep.
Later on that day, what?
She was icing her leg on the sofa, and we decided that we should go seek medical attention, so we went to the urgent care.
So from the very date of the accident down through all of the dates that she has sought medical treatment down to the present, you've been aware of her any subsequent injuries and her whatever was the problem with her?
Oh, yes.
How did that change both your lives?
It's been a stress. Sure. Obviously my workload around the house increased. Further interaction with children has changed.
You work full time.
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm outside sales.
For who?
Center Point Energy.
What do you sell?
Selling natural gas.
And you work straight days?
Yes.
5 days a week?
Yes.
Other than the time at work and you were home, did you have to take on some of the duties that she was able to do or not do?
Yes.
Why could she not do it?
Because she was in too much pain, and she just had surgery, and she was unable to do those duties.
How long have you been married?
11 years.
Almost got in trouble.
Yeah.
And was that as of the time she fell or not? As of now?
I'm sorry.
7 years as of now?
Yes. It would be 12 years in October.
So it was roughly 6 or 7 years when she fell.
Yes. Yeah.
You had a small baby.
Correct.
And did you do things with her socially?
Yes.
Like what?
We would dance, and we would bike and walk with the walks. And it was limited if we do them all.
You're a pretty tall fellow, aren't you?
Yes.
Tall man.
6'9".
Play basketball?
Yes.
Like sports?
Yes.
Sports is an integral part of your family activities?
Yes, my kids, for sure, yes.
And Chrissy, prior to her fall, yourself involved with a lot of physical activity with the kids and you?
Yeah.
Other than dancing, what? Going out taking walks with the children?
Yes.
Anything else?
Going on my bike, playing with the kids, in the snow or whatever, in the house.
Any sports activities with all of you?
No, I shoot some baskets.
Able to do that after she fell?
No. Sorry, she can shoot a basket.
She ever run with you after that?
No.
Trot with you after that?
No.
Dance with you after that?
No, slow.
I'm sorry?
Slow. Slow down.
Did normal activities you did help in what? Trading love and affection? Doing things for each other? Did that change?
Yes.
Did it change insofar as sexual intimacy as well?
Yes.
From what to what?
We're probably once a week at least, and it went to nothing for the times where she was hurt initially and didn't treat when she had her surgery. It was real, and now it's maybe once or twice a month.
Did that restrict on your life?
Yes.
Were there difficult times getting her through this period of
Yes, every day.
treatment?
Yes.
Did you observe her having pain?
Yes.
you say categorically she's pain every day?
Yes.
How did she discover this?
I can see her rubbing her knees. I can see her crying. Mood changes.
Get up at night because of her pain?
Yes.
How often did you say?
Well, not up at the every night, so it's hard for me to say, but it was quite frequent in the beginning.
The places that you went to seek treatment, did you go with her
Yes.
on many of those occasions? Heard what the doctor was saying. All of the treatment that was suggested by the doctor,
Correct.
referring to the other doctor.
Yes.
Prior to the fall, did she ever have anything at all wrong with her left knee
No.
or her leg?
No.
With her legs?
No.
Any problems with funny gait, how adjusted gait?
No.
The muscle didn't react appropriately.
No.
Did that happen afterwards?
Yes.
All the things that you heard about what her injuries are today, what the doctors are saying, did not exist prior to August the 16th, 2000.
Correct.
Tracks paid medical bills?
No.
Objection, Your Honor. Been asking answer multiple times. No, question.
All right.
Is there anything else that changed in your life after this fall?
That he uncovered. No.
Have you in fact lost part of your services?
Yes.
Relationship, rather infection.
Yes.
Life has changed for you.
Yes.
And you had to take on a lot of the household duties that she did.
Yeah. Household duties, cleaning, laundry. I tried cooking, but it didn't work so well. Any chore that needed to be done, that involves going up and downstairs. She has problems doing that. We have a private little house, so it's hard for her to get up and down if she needs something.
So taking care of the children?
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Long?
Yeah, at the time of the fall, we
Make sure that's not.
Carl was running 13, 14 months that ended going after, so most of the diaper changing duties were mine. She could feed him as I came down there, but it was everything like getting somebody or going somewhere to get it, eating up a bottle or food, it was never prepared.
Did it put stress on your marriage?
Yes.
You have to work through it.
Yep.
You can stick with it.
Yep. It's
No further questions.
All right. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Klein.
afternoon.
How are you today?
Very much fine.
Good. Oh, tired, but I'm good. Now, in terms of all these questions counsel asked you about, difficulties with your wife and your marriage, you still enjoy a loving relationship with your wife, is that right?
I do know her, yes.
Yeah, you haven't filed for divorce, she hasn't filed for divorce.
No.
Haven't been separated,
No.
haven't had to go to any kind of marital counseling, haven't sought out, any clergy member to do any kind of marital counseling,
No.
haven't had to see a doctor for any marital counseling, issues like that.
No.
Okay, so. Oh, and about your bills, all your bills have been paid.
Yes, we can do it.
And in terms of how often you have sex with your wife, is it your testimony today under oath that the only reason there's been any kind of change in that relationship since 2009 was because of this incident at Stratton Man's Hill?
It's not the only, but it's a great deal.
Okay. So, and you don't have to go into them all unless you want to, but the point is there's other stressors in life that happen that may cause changes in the frequency or interruptions in the sexual relationship?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's good. So it's not all Strack and Van Til, but you think Strack is one of those things?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, for that, you haven't told that Teddy doctor, have you?
No.
And there's doctors who help with that stuff too. And I'm probably an inartful question, but there are people, there are therapists, there's physicians, there's professionals that can give you all kinds of assistance.
Gotcha.
Right? You haven't had seen those people.
No.
Let me fix this before it goes somewhere. Sure. Okay. Oh, and you said you have to do more around the house, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have any objection to helping out around the house, right?
I don't know.
And, especially when you get kids, that's the kind of thing we both have to, especially the more kids you have. Seems like there's a lot more than just one.
There's one more than one.
Well, I mean, it seems to be an exponential increase as opposed to just double, from my own experience. But the point is, you both have to pitch in and help with child care issues and taking care of the kids and driving them somewhere and doing whatever they need. You just have to say yes.
Yes. Sorry.
And in fact, you don't mind doing that at all, right?
It's being a father, yes, but it's yes. Most of it.
Yeah, well, I hope. And then, now you didn't actually see her fall that day.
No, I did not.
In fact, you heard some kind of exclamation, turned around, and she was already in a seated position on the floor.
Yes.
And my understanding, and I get from, and of course you gave a deposition in this case some time ago, but summarizing, similar to what your wife said, you were proceeding southbound down that lane towards checkout with the group.
Yes.
Or with, herding the kids. You're pushing the big cart.
Yes.
Your daughter's got one of those little carts.
Yes.
And she's in front of you somewhere.
Yes.
And the little boy's in your cart.
Yes.
And then your wife is to your right hand side.
Yes.
Generally speaking. As you go south, so she's the west side.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And certainly, now, did you remember where that pizza vendor was before I get to it?
Yeah, I believe it's probably at the end cap at the north side of the store.
It's the very north end of the store.
Yes.
So actually, now you're a pre-occurrence witness and a post-occurrence witness, because you're there before the fall happened and after it happened.
Yes.
And as you walk down the aisle towards checkout, my understanding is you never saw any kind of substance on the floor.
Yes, there was nothing. We were walking to check out, and there was nothing to be seen.
And then when you're down towards the end, it's that point where she says, "Oh, I forgot to get the eggs. I'm going to go get eggs."
Correct.
And do you stop at that juncture, or are you still moving as she goes to get the eggs?
It probably kept walking and coming to a stop. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well, you recall previously testifying that you were still moving?
Yes.
To check out?
Yes.
So you would be moving the herd, so to speak, headed to checkout to the next stop?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say yes or no?
I'm sorry, yes.
And when you turned around and saw her in a seated position, her back would be to you?
Yes.
And she's pretty much, I think you said, 15 feet from the north end of the aisle.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you go to her position?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Everybody does. So if I point at the court reporter, that's fine. then when you, as you got closer to her, you saw the substance on the floor.
When I got to her, and I smelled down the substance.
Right, you never saw it when you were going southbound before the fall.
It was not seen.
And after your wife fell, you were able to see it on the floor.
Saw it, yeah, I knew the substance was there after she fell on the floor.
Right, I think you said on direct examination, after she fell, it gave you a keener eye.
I did say that, yeah.
Okay. So with the keener eye, you were able to make out the substance on the floor.
Sure, after she had fallen on, I knew that there was substance there, and I looked and saw all of it.
Right. And you mentioned now that you thought her dress was wet.
Yes.
How about her foot polish? Was there any water on those?
I'm not sure on the bottom. I did not see it.
Okay, well, yeah, it must have been
Her feet were away from me, and I did not see any longer on her shoes.
And to be clear, there were no other people walking up or down that aisle during the time, either north or south, while you and your whole family was headed south and while your wife headed north, and even after you went to her position after she fell.
It was just the that was right beyond.
The north end,
Yes, that was.
the stock.
Yes. That's his title. Yes.
Yeah, Peter Paul is his name. And this is the guy you said you saw him eating pizza too?
Yes.
So do you agree with your wife that he was eating pizza all that time?
I saw him eating pizza as we entered the aisle. Once I passed him, I went looking back to see if he was food, so I also was eating the entire time.
Okay, well you stopped and got a piece of pizza from the vendor too?
Yes.
And they usually give you what, just a little square?
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct, so inch or two, inch or two.
Sure. Yes.
And it's not a big piece of pizza.
Yeah.
So you stop and have what, one or two? Or? It's the kind of thing where they, like they do at Sam's, where they also put that little napkin or just looking it up. Okay. So was the stalker, Peter, was he standing next to you when you got your pizza?
He had his piece. Yeah, he already had it.
Okay, so he's chewing a piece of pizza when you get there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, and that's the last time you see him before you turn down and proceed down this frozen food aisle.
Correct.
And then back after the fall, you got to your wife's position. Then you looked down and saw the substance on the floor.
Correct.
And at that point, you saw it all the way up and down the aisle running north to south.
Correct.
And it appeared to be a continuous stream.
Yes.
And you have no idea how long that spill was there before your wife fell.
I do not know.
You have no knowledge from any source as to how that spill came to be there. To your knowledge, that spill was never reported to anyone at Stratton Van Tilt before your wife fell?
Yes, I do know.
To your knowledge, no one reported it?
I think that's what I said in the position. Yes, I don't.
Not to your knowledge.
Yes.
And certainly we don't know of anyone else who slipped or fell in that substance before your wife.
I don't know.
To the best of your knowledge, no one at Stratton Van Tilt knew about the substance on the floor before your wife's fall occurred.
I'm not sure.
Well, do you have any knowledge from any source that anyone at Stratton Van Tilt knew about it before your wife's fall?
Nobody told me that. Nobody told me that.
The answer is I don't know that, not to my knowledge.
I don't know. Yes.
And the substance, again, appeared to be water. Nobody really checked, knew the thickness of it or if it was anything else, but
Correct.
generally clear, water-looking kind of substance.
Yes.
Oh, and how often have you shopped at the Strat yourself?
Not as often as Christy. I maybe once a month. I don't know. I was on
the shopping, but sometimes you shop with her, sometimes you go alone to pick up something.
Yes, yes.
And what'd you say, once a month?
Approximately. Yeah.
Okay. And over, how long before her fall, you had to shop there about once a month?
Since we've been married,
Okay, so,
So-
what year?
from the time
Oh, I'm sorry, before the fall.
before the fall.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so, we got 6 years.
Okay, so once a month over 6 years.
Yeah.
You ever had any problems with lighting in that store yourself?
What, I don't know what you mean, problems with my,
Problem seeing the floor.
that's what I was doing.
Pardon?
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Let me ask you again, I wasn't sure. In all those prior visits to the store, did you ever have any problems seeing, having a clear view of the floor?
Seeing before the board, yes.
I should say, was the lighting ever, did the lighting ever interfere with your ability to see the floor on your prior visits there?
The lighting shows the reflection on the floor, so it makes me notice the floor.
Okay, so on your prior visits to the Stratford Van Til store, the lighting did impair your ability to see the floor?
It didn't have my ability.
How about any reflection off the doors on these frozen display cases? Did those ever affect your ability to see the floor, see where you're walking?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. I was just walking over to exhibit C6.
Yes.
The display cases, the glass doors,
The glass doors, no.
they never impaired your ability to see the floor?
No.
Did you see the stalker, Peter Paul, after your wife's fall?
Yes.
And was he still at the north end of the aisle?
He was, towards the north end.
You know what he was doing?
He was standing there.
Did you see him do anything? Stand there?
No.
All right, and then you went and told one of the cashiers?
After I went to see Christy, yes.
Right, that's what I mean. So when you saw this man standing at the stalker, standing at the north end of the aisle, was that immediately after the fall when you heard your wife's exclamation, or was it when you got to your wife's position?
He did it when I turned around and I was at my wife's position.
So both.
Oh, yes.
And after you went to the cashier and came back, did you see him again?
I believe he was still there.
Same position?
I think so.
Did you have any conversation with that man after your wife's fall?
I did not.
Did you overhear any conversations with that young man?
I did not.
So he might possibly have been a witness, but you don't know for sure.
He was there when the trial occurred.
So he possibly might have been a witness, but you don't know for sure?
Yes, I don't know exactly what he saw.
Okay, you're not sure if he was a witness.
Sure.
The managers came within a couple of minutes?
Yes.
And you spoke to, did you speak to one or both of the managers?
I spoke to both.
And you told them, I didn't see her fall, I turned around, she was already down?
Yes.
You had a conversation with your wife at the scene, she told you how she felt?
Yes.
Were there any other conversations you had at the scene or overheard at the scene that we haven't covered to this point? you decline medical attention or an ambulance while you were there?
Yes.
Okay, and why did you do that?
Just while we were on, I didn't think that it was necessary for her to fill out a stretcher or anything like that.
Okay, you didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a moment, Judge, if I can.
Sure.
Notes. Please, thank you. Yes, sir, thank you. I don't have anything else.
Any redirect?
Thank you.
The council asked you, and prior to the fall on the floor, you never had any problem seeing the floor in that store, correct?
Correct.
But you did have a problem certainly on that day seeing the water on it, isn't that right?
Correct.
And you testified you could not see the water as you walked along the floor. You think you had a view of the floor in front of you.
Correct.
And did you also, when you were present with your wife and the assistant manager, Elaine Robeson, did you hear her say anything directly about observing where the water was and getting something cleaned up?
Yes, I heard she was
Did
late.
your other conversation there?
Yes, I think we discussed that.
And that was Elaine Robeson,
That was the
assistant manager?
yes,
This lady right here, correct?
yes.
And what did she say?
About the water. She came out and she said, "Oh my gosh, there's water in the entire aisle."
She then directed something to be done about it?
Yes,
So nothing was done about the water on the floor until your wife had slipped and fall and she came in and then took charge about getting it cleaned up.
correct.
Somebody came and cleaned it up while you were there.
Yes,
And then they put out the cones after, correct?
yes,
And all the cones that you see in Defendant's Exhibit C3, that's what it looked like after.
yes.
No further questions.
Just a few more, Your Honor. Sir, I think it's C6, if we're looking at the right ones.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of conversations you had with Alana,
Yes.
you remember talking about those in your deposition?
I think so.
And in fact, you talked to the managers?
Yes,
They spoke to you,
I'm sorry?
and they spoke back to you.
Yes,
You had a conversation?
I believe so, yes.
What did the managers, what did you say to the managers, and what did the managers say to you?
I remember that she said, I guess I can't remember what they said to me and what she said.
Okay, well, at your deposition on June 5, 2012, you were there with your attorney,
Yes.
court reporter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's okay. Me and under oath,
Yes.
page 16, we ask these questions, did you give these answers?
If there's no definition, then yes.
Well, yeah, question, what did you say to the managers and what did the managers say to you? Answer, they asked me what I saw and I told them I turned around and my wife had fallen. Did you give that answer to that question?
Yes.
Question, she was already down? Answer, yes. Did you give that answer to that question?
Yes.
Question, did they say anything else to you? Answer, no. I mean, just other than my wife had mentioned before, Alana had said. No, go ahead and see a doctor and we'll take care of the bills, and that's about it. There may have been other conversation, but I don't recollect much. Did you give that answer to that question?
Yes. I heard her say about the water. The conversation I had with her was saying, "Hey, man, did you see that water?" That wasn't what happened. I just heard her say it.
That's a good point. Page 18 of your deposition. 1718. Did you have any other conversations with anybody after the accident at the scene that we haven't already summarized? Answer, no. Did you give that answer to that question?
Yes.
A question, did you overhear any other conversations at the scene that we haven't already summarized? Answer, no. Did you give that answer to that question?
Yes.
So at the time of your deposition, you said the only conversation I had with the manager was to say, yeah, I didn't actually see her fall. I turned around and she was already down. I said, did you discuss anything else with the manager? She said, no, that's about it. Aside from what my wife said in her deposition about we'll pay bills. That was it. And then later on I said, tell us today. Well, is that accurate up to this point?
Yes. In deposition.
And of course now you said, oh yeah, I overheard Alana say, oh, look at this water. My gosh, look at it all. But then in your deposition I said, did you overhear any other conversations? We covered all the conversations. You said, no.
Yes, and at the time I did not remember, but I do remember it.
Okay. So your memory's better today than it was on June 5, 2012.
Sure. As far as this case is concerned.
Okay. All right. Anything that affected your ability to recall in the intervening years?
No, if I can think of.
And it's a serious question. When I ask your depositions, is anyone under any kind of medication that would affect your ability to testify, understand questions, recall things?
Yes.
You have no medical condition that prevents you from doing that?
No.
Certainly no medication that prevents you from doing that?
No.
You're in good general health?
Yes.
You just didn't remember at your deposition, I know, but you remember today, I believe.
Yes, I was still did not remember.
It's a pretty important point to forget, isn't it? Would you agree?
At the time,
Well, I mean, today it's an important point.
this is not easy. All of this is hard. And at the time, I must have slipped my mind.
Okay, yeah, well, like I said, in your deposition you say, yeah, Strack never knew about this spill either. Strack never saw this spill. And now you're saying after this, oh, yeah, Alana comes up and there's water all over the place. And she says, oh, look at the water all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
A little different than your deposition testimony.
Yes.
All right. Back to C6. Of course, you got one in front of you probably, but there is a little difference in terms of how the pictures are bunched. And for some reason, the enlargements are actually clearer than all of the smaller ones.
Yep.
The UPS story. I'm recommending it for Martin.
All right.
In any event, this view again is looking south towards checkout channel.
Correct.
And this would be the view you had as you first turned down that aisle?
Yes. That's the cones.
Correct. And if the water was there when you first entered that aisle, you would have missed it as you passed the entire length of the aisle.
Yes.
And then your wife would have missed it on the way back.
Yes.
There were no obstructions to your view as you walked down the aisle?
There were no physical objects in my way that would, no cones or anything that would keep me
You're 6'9", you can sit in the back row of the movies and you're fine.
Exactly.
Okay. And again, after the fall happened, you said your eye was keener and you were able to see this water.
Yes, I was telling my mother and I was running and so.
Okay, thank you, sir. Nothing further.
Thank you.
Mr. Kuzma, anything?
One or two questions. Actually, there's no inconsistency in the deposition. You never really had a conversation with Helene. She was just talking generally when she observed the water. She wasn't talking to you.
Good.
She was talking to whoever was going to be hearing you.
It was a long earshot.
Now, at that time, Peter Paul was there.
Yes, I believe so.
She supervises him. She's the manager.
Yes.
Pizza lady was there.
Yes.
Our objection
Yes.
is
But
that
she
there.
wasn't talking.
Wait,
Wait,
no.
foundation as to where there is.
Mr. Kuzma, where's there?
Came upon the scene of the fall.
Okay.
That's what he was talking about. He asked if there were any other conversation that he had with her. He said no. Actually, he wasn't having. You weren't having a conversation with her.
No.
He was just talking to whoever she knew she was talking to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The only people there are you, your wife, and your children. Pizza lady, Gavin, the manager in training, right?
Yes.
And Peter Paul, the employee.
Yes.
She was just directing things that need to be done as the manager, acting manager.
Yes.
Technically, when you said, did you have any other conversation with her or anybody, you said, no, that was the correct answer, because you weren't having any conversation with her before.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Council asked you a little bit different question than I did. You mentioned today that you overheard Alana say that. True?
Yes.
And in your deposition, you say I didn't overhear any conversation. True?
That's what I said was beneficial.
A little bit different than what council said. And now the pizza lady came to the scene too?
She was at the other station. Yeah.
Well, that's not where this fall happened, is it?
No.
So she's not there.
She was not at the fall scene.
Right. There is where your wife fell.
Right. Yes.
Pizza lady wasn't
She
there.
was not there.
Now you told us a few times that this horrible stalker, this horrible man, never came to the scene. So now he's there.
Objection, that is not the testimony that this horrible stalker did anything.
I'll restate it.
He's characterizing it as putting words in his mouth or any other words.
Okay, just rephrase it.
And that's what the jury be instructed to disregard.
Jurors disregard the horrible character statement.
And he told us repeatedly that the stalker never moved from the north end of the aisle. And now you just told counsel, no, he was there
He was
when Alana's having these conversations.
in the aisle. He wasn't next to us.
So he moved south from his position. So what you said before wasn't quite accurate. He didn't just stay at the north end.
He was open to stay when I got there. And then when she fell, he did take a step forward going into the aisle. But he never came forward with my wife and helped trying to help us.
So if we all agree that there was where your wife fell, the stalker never came there either,
Correct.
nor the pizza lady.
She did.
Do you know who called the manager?
It was a man for the month, and I don't know who called them.
Do you know who got the utility clerks there?
We only asked for them to come out.
Do you know if anyone asked them to be there before Alana arrived?
I do not.
Thank you. Well, we covered it. A keener eye afterwards, and then you can see the water. Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for this witness, now is the time.